Ever held something so small, so delicate, and then watched the world tear it from you like it was never yours? This isn't a story about love at first sight. It's about loss at first breath. It's about how a girl with no home found shelter in someone else's apology. Safia's life hadn't felt like hers in a long time. After the fire took her parents, everyone called her Aunt and Uncle Saints for taking her in. But Saints didn't glare when you entered a room or forget your birthday every single year. Her aunt only said her name when angry. Her uncle didn't talk unless he was drinking or mad. Their house was a waiting room, not a home. She was a guest overstaying her welcome. No bruises marked her skin, but silence can cut deeper than fists. Her attic room was tiny with a dusty window and mildew-stained wallpaper, but it was hers. And in it lived Nova, a sky-blue parakeet with white-tipped wings and a voice full of mimicry. "Pretty girl," she'd chirp. "Love you, Soph." Words Sophia had taught her. Nova was more than a pet. She was proof that someone, something could love her back. Then came the Thursday that cracked Sophia's world. She'd brought Nova to school for a biology project. The cage, tucked in a blanket-lined basket, sat by her bag. Stephen Carter, golden boy, reckless skater, was coasting through the courtyard, earbuds in, not watching. He hit the basket. The world snapped. Nova's cage flipped, cracked open. Nova bolted upward, panicked, straight into the street. A honk, a scream, then nothing. Nova's blue feathers scattered across the asphalt like confetti from a cruel celebration. That night, Sophia didn't go home. She sat behind the school gym, cradling the broken cage. When she finally returned, her aunt rolled her eyes. "Crying over a bird?" "You'd think she lost a kid," her uncle muttered. She said nothing. Didn't have to. Grief spoke louder than words. The next morning, Stephen stood by her locker. I didn't know the bird was in there," he stammered. His voice cracked. He unfolded a paper towel. Inside was a single sky blue feather. "She was beautiful," he whispered. "I'm sorry." Sophia walked past him, silent, but he came back the next day, and the next. He left a feather-shaped charm, a poem about freedom, sunflower seeds with a sticky note. "You taught her to talk. I wish I had shut up and listened." Still, she stayed silent. Grief hardened. Then one afternoon, she found Stephen sitting where she had cried after Nova died. "This where the ghost hangs out?" he asked, not looking at her. She sat beside him. "Her name was Nova." "Like the stars," he said. "Stars that explode," she whispered. "Bright, but gone too fast." He didn't reply, but something passed between them. Not forgiveness, recognition. Their friendship grew quietly. Stephen didn't push or pry. He sat beside her in silence, shared stories he didn't tell anyone else. He talked about his brother who died of leukemia. "I pretended not to care, but I didn't laugh for a year." She told him about the fire, the smell of smoke in dreams, the way she sometimes forgot her mom's voice. He never said, "That's so sad." He said, "That's so strong." One day she asked, "Why do you keep showing up?" Stephen shrugged, "Because I broke something. Maybe I want to help build something new." "No one stays," she said. "I'm staying," he promised. Time passed. She started humming again. Stephen learned how to listen, really listen. Once, she found a sketch of Nova in flight in her locker. Beneath it, "She's free now, but she left pieces of herself in you." That night, Sophia didn't cry for Nova. She cried because someone saw her pain and honored it. Then came spring formal. She wasn't going. No dress, no invitation, until Stephen showed up at her door holding a daisy and a paper bird folded from sheet music. "Come with me," he said. Her aunt tried to slam the door. Her uncle hesitated. "Have her back by midnight." Not approval, but permission. Under the dance hall lights, Sophia didn't feel invisible. She laughed. Stephen twirled her beneath the stars, and for the first time in years, she felt light. Later, as the music slowed, he leaned close. "You make me want to be better," he whispered. She blinked. "You already are." Then, quiet, afraid, honest, he said, "I think I love you, Sophia." She froze. "I don't love you because you're broken," he added. "I love you because you still choose to fly." That night, Back in the attic, she didn't cry. She cleaned Nova's cage, left the door open, and placed Steven's folded bird inside. This wasn't a romance, it was a reminder. Love doesn't fix you. It stays long enough for you to fix yourself. Months later, she got into college, far away, full scholarship. Steven helped her pack. Before she left, he handed her a tiny glass vial. Inside, one blue feather. "Never forget how high you can go," he said. She didn't. Ever lost something that felt like your whole heart? Sophia had. But in grief's hollow, someone planted hope, and it grew wings.